What's going on, Vegas Golden Knights fans? That's right, the VGK Bug-Eye Guy is back. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, cool, Bug-Eye Guy, where have you been? And I know some of you are like, oh, man, the freaking Bug-Eye Guy's back. Ugh. Honestly, folks, I've kind of gotten out of the whole video game. Takes a lot of time, and I've been focusing mostly on the VGK Bug-Eye Guy podcast. It's available at vgkbugeyeguy.com, along with all the major podcast providers like Apple and Google. You should check it out sometime. So, we're halfway through the regular season, and I figured, man, the Bug-Eye Guy probably should do a little recap video, not of all the games, because that'd be crazy. You know, we've had a few things happen to the Vegas Golden Knights this year that are worth mentioning. Here you go. Vegas Golden Knights fans, we had an awesome season last year. An incredible season last year. An unbelievable season last year. Do you think maybe we might have a little bit of a playoff hangover to start the season? Well, there is one thing different from this year from last year. And that's that teams have film on us. See, last year, they didn't even know much of our players. They didn't know what kind of system we were going to use. But now they do. Now they've got film. Now they can better prepare. Or maybe other teams' medical staff finally found the cure for the dreaded Vegas flu. As I'm filming this video, the Vegas Golden Knights have played more road games than any other team in the NHL. You believe that? Our Vegas Golden Knights? They on the road. But not the second half of the season. Expect to see a lot more games at the Fortress. Beer prices at the Fortress, second season, still ridiculously priced. I think it's like $16 for a freaking cold beer. That's crazy, right? Well, I went to Arizona, it was only $12. Thanks, Vegas. Thanks, Las Vegas Strip. Thanks, T-Mobile Arena. Check it out, the Vegas Golden Knights gave season ticket holders these free gold jackets. How cool is that? Honestly, it's an extra large, it's a little snug on the Bug-Eye Guy. But hey, it's a free jacket, that's all I'm saying. So the summer started out with all these rumors about Vegas Golden Knights acquiring Erik Karlsson from the Ottawa Senators. Well, that fell through. Nate Schmidt was suspended for 20 games. Talk about some BS, right? Of all the people, Schmitty suspended 20 games for a questionable drug test. To top it all off, Shea Theodore, restricted free agent, refusing to sign. What on earth is going on? Now, during the offseason this summer, before the season started, General Manager George McPhee did pull the trigger on 2 free agents, bringing in former Montreal captain Max Pacioretty and also picking up Paul Stastny from the Winnipeg Jets. Both players have made an impact when they've been on the ice for the Golden Knights this year. Now, unfortunately, at the trade deadline last year, we picked up Thomas Tatar. We paid a lot for him, then we shipped him to Montreal along with Nick Suzuki as part of the Patches deal, and Tatar's been lighting it up for Montreal. And I know some of you Golden Knights fans are freaking out, but it is what it is. You can't have every player on the team. I'm not gonna lie, I was super excited for the home opener. Raise the championship banner, well, Western Conference championship banner. Play the stupid Philadelphia Flyers. I was all pumped up. And then we got our butts kicked. Then we went on the road, and we got our butts kicked some more. Then, some of Vegas Golden Knight Nation started to freak out. What's going on? How come we're not winning? Well, like I said earlier, film, people know our system, they know our players. It's gonna take some time. But Bug-Eye Guy, a lot of Vegas Golden Knights fans are new to hockey, and they don't understand about waiting, and they don't understand about teams not playing good. What are we gonna do? Do you guys remember last year? Do you remember the goalie situation last year where we played 5 goalies because of the dreaded, elusive injury bug? Do you remember? Well, our goalies have been healthy this year, but our forwards and a couple D-men, not so much. Look, Vegas Golden Knights fans, I know we struggled at the beginning of the season, but we didn't have Tuck, we didn't have Eakin, we only had Stastny for 3 games, Patches has been on the IR twice, Colin Miller's been hurt. Folks, it happens. But the good teams, the tough physical teams, and the mentally strong teams persevere. They find a way to get through some Nate Schmidt suspensions, or some Pacioretty injuries. Vegas Golden Knights fans, as you've already seen it in the standings, we're starting to make that climb on up to the top of the Pacific Division lead. One of the highlights of this season so far has been the outstanding goaltending from Mr. Marc-Andre Fleury. 6 shutouts. He's gotten me, I don't know how many dozen free donuts from the Krispy Kremes. Hell, he almost put Krispy Kreme out of business when he had back-to-back shutouts. Now, unfortunately, every time Malcolm Subban plays, it seems like the Golden Knights don't want to help him out at all. We don't score any goals. Subban was 0-5 before he finally beat the stupid Los Angeles Kings. And honestly, what's the deal with them Los Angeles Kings anyways? I thought they were the worst team in the NHL. Well, the Vegas Golden Knights were 0-1 against them, but then we beat them twice in a row. Yeah, baby. How about the Vegas Golden Knights' fourth line? Are you kidding me? You got William Carrier, which, by the way, we need a nickname for him, leading the league in hits. You got Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, pretty much quarterbacking the fourth line. Then you have, well, of course, I don't know, probably the most popular player for the Vegas Golden Knights right now, Mr. Ryan frickin' Reeves, who's actually been scoring this year on top of laying people out. And boy, oh boy, that Tom Wilson, Washington Capitals, Vegas Golden Knights matchup at the beginning of December, I've been waiting about that since the playoffs last year. And boy, oh boy, did it not disappoint. Now, Vegas Golden Knights fans, I know we've had some struggles back on the blue line, especially defensively. But I still don't understand why we're into Season 2 and we're still playing Merrill over Brad Hunt. Honestly, we need to upgrade at that position, but I don't understand why they love John Merrill so much. He gets burned all the time. And honestly, when Merrill and Holden are paired together, I kind of freak out a little bit. So by now, I'm sure everyone's aware that this season we've called up Thomas Hika, Daniel Carr, Reed Duke, and Brandon Peary. I know, I said Brandon Peary. Everybody's in love with Brandon Peary because every time he plays for the Vegas Golden Knights, it seems like he scores a goal. Look, folks, I like Brandon Peary just like the rest of you, but he's still waiver exempt. Now, do you want to keep Peary on the active roster and risk the chance of losing someone like Oscar Lindberg, Ryan Carpenter, or maybe even a Thomas Nosek? Is it worth the risk? I mean, Peary can't score every game, or can he? Look, folks, I know Brandon Peary's been playing really good for us, but here's the Bug-Eye Guy's honest opinion. I think Brandon Peary gets sent back down to Chicago. Now, it won't be a long-term thing, but if Colin Miller and Max Pacioretty both come back off the IR, not one but 2 players need to be sent down. Right off the bat, Brandon Peary does not have to clear waivers. Everyone's getting schooled on the whole waiver game and the 30 days or 10 NHL games. But from a team perspective, we can still call him back up later in the season. And right now we can protect the Oscar Lindberghs, Thomas Noseks, Ryan Carpenters of the world. And for you folks that think we should send Merrill or Hunt down, okay, quit confusing it. You need X amount of offensive players, X amount of defensive players, and X amount of goalies. You can't swap out a left wing for a defenseman. It doesn't work that way, folks. Now, the Bug-Eye Guy is a lot like the rest of you Vegas Golden Knights fans. I love when Golden Pipe sings the national anthem at the Fortress. I freaking love it. I am a United States Navy veteran. I do not think it's disrespectful to yell the word Knights during the anthem, especially when Golden Pipes pauses for us. I mean, some people want to compare us yelling Knights to NFL players taking a knee. That is an argument that I'm not willing to start. Not interested. Honestly, my opinion of the first half of the season's been honestly pretty good. We struggled at the beginning. I knew we were going to have some defensive struggles. We had new players that had to gel, they had to get used to playing with each other. And now all of a sudden, the team's starting to get healthy. Now all of a sudden, they're starting to play night hockey. Now all of a sudden, the ticket prices are going up on Flash Sheets. And yes, folks, Flash Sheets, the app that they make us use, still kind of sucks. But we don't really have a choice now, do we? So the trade deadline comes up in February. There's already some rumors out there about some possible trades, which a trade might not be a bad thing. When you have a lot of assets and you want to put players up on waivers, there's a chance they can get claimed and you get nothing in return. So since we have this predicament of so many good players and not enough roster spots, maybe GM does pull the trigger and make a trade. I'd like to see another defenseman come in. That would be pretty good. But then again, we got Nick Hague, Zach Whitecloud, Eric Brandstrom, the Brandwagon. We got a bunch of young guys in the AHL that could come up and play. But maybe they need a little bit more time in the AHL. If that's the case, let's go after a veteran. Alright, Vegas Golden Knights, of course, like always, I've taken up way too much of your time. The first half of the season is over. In a playoff spot. Sure, we're not at the top of the Pacific, but we struggled at the beginning. And who do we gotta watch out for? Well, apparently it looks like we gotta watch out for the Calgary Flames and the stupid San Jose Sharks. And well, it was the Ducks. But, nah, the Ducks, they've kind of been struggling of late. Probably because Ryan Miller and John Gibson are both injured. I don't know. Speaking of goalies, how about Mr. Marc-Andre Fleury being voted to the Pro Bowl? Wait, Pro Bowl? What are you talking about, Bug-Eye Guy? I mean the All-Star Game. Alright, Vegas Golden Knights fans. The first half of the season had some ups and downs, but overall, I'm feeling really good about the team. I'm excited for the second half of the season, and you should be too. Alright, so the Vegas Golden Knights take on the Anaheim Ducks tonight. In Anaheim, I'm sure a bunch of our Vegas Golden Knights fans will be down there because a lot of them traveled to LA, the Bug-Eye Guy traveled to Arizona. It's nice to see some Vegas Golden Knights in opposing stadiums. Pretty cool. Alright folks, I'm super excited for the second half of the season. I can't wait to see what GM George McPhee does, or what the Vegas Golden Knights do on the ice. All I know is I'm super pumped up. It's 2019. I'm excited. I love you. And as always, duh, Bug-Eye Guy, go Knights go!